The joy of the Lord is my strength. 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 We used to sing that when we were kids, and that's another song that kind of disappeared, especially if your Lord is your king, because there's a lot of chess and, those games. So there's not a lot of joy in the church right now. I don't know if anybody's noticed. Like, even Laurie's jokes just kind of fallen on deaf ears, because recently he was really propping Billy Graham. But when I was a kid, I always wondered about his invitations. They were a little strange, about how if you don't come in front of everybody and deny me before men, I will deny you before God. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound like getting saved to me. I thought it was just like faith. It reminds me of when I was a kid, my buddy had a friend that his dad was like a Pentecostal missionary pastor or whatever. He was good. I'm not trying to be messed up. But in the end, he had one of these things and said, hey, wouldn't you like to go to a beautiful place where everything is perfect? And I was a kid, I was like, I don't remember, 7th grade, I think. And I was like, whoa, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It was almost like getting hypnotized. Yeah, dude, where is that place? I said, okay, I want y'all to close your eyes. And so I'm like, yeah. Because everybody wants to go to this place, raise their hand. I'm like, yeah, me. So then he says, everybody that prayed like that, come over and see me after. And I was like, okay, cool. What's the big secret, He comes up and he goes, what are you doing here? And I'm like, where's that place? And I was talking about heaven. Aren't you already saved? So sometimes you just got to get out of the show, you know what I mean? Because, see, Billy Graham, I think he was like one of the first ones that started the whole rapture UFO idea to give us not great faith in a king. So this kind of blending of words and things, like John MacArthur, who started Grace to You, and he started it right as the pro-choice movement started. Funny timing with that, because he came out with Lordship Theology. Now, if you know what theology means, that means study of God. So that would mean, by this special theology, that you're gonna know God better. Do you see what I'm saying? Because study of God, one guy that came out of seminary suddenly decided this is the way to know God. But yet, what mountains did he move besides start his own church? So sometimes it's good to just think about basic things, like how many churches right now have discipleship classes or things like this. And it sounds so beautiful, that word. I want to be a disciple of Christ. But we have to remember that the disciples were told things. They were with the king who got killed. And Peter, even while he was, just right after he was with him, denied him 3 times before he became the rock that we should look up to. Like, Catholics, I love you, but now let's not make everything divine. Calm yourself, okay? So here's the thing. John MacArthur started this whole Grace to You thing about lordship, and if you really know God and how you really know how holy he is and how he wants everybody to burn hell, that if you haven't made him like Lord of your life and totally committed to him and been so holy not like everybody else, then that's it. You're done, and you're burning hell forever. And it sucks for you because you didn't know how holy he is. Now, if you ever heard of a holier than that attitude, well, hello. That's like the birth of the super holy. And then his seminary that he made, called Master's Seminary. Well, you will really know. Well, I had somebody that went through that seminary that I met, and he was like, even after graduating from that, I'm still struggling with porn. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. And he's like, gonna lead a church now? All right, John MacArthur, way to go. You can be a master. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, so here's the thing, is if you just think simple things, it makes it a lot better, because Jesus told the disciples, oh, you of little faith. But then when like the woman, what was the one woman, I'd get mixed up, I think it's Samaritan woman or whatever, she was like, whoa, of you great faith. And then the other one, what was it? No, that was the one that was like a dog. Remember, he called her a dog. And now everybody's like, you're a racist. No, I think what he's doing is showing the attitude of people, like what races they were. See if she'd get all pissy like most of us probably would. I think that was like the point, to test how testy she was. And because she was like, even the dogs. And then he was like, you're calling yourself a dog, woman? Hey, great is your faith. I tell you what is given to you. You see what I mean? Because like, that's being poor in spirit, not going, oh, I'm too holy, I would never be a dog. You see what I mean? And so here's the other thing, is that the other thing that the disciples were told was, fear not, oh, you of little faith. So it's always good to get focused on the king. And like this whole John MacArthur lordship idea, that's the funny thing, is that like he never wanted to talk about a king. He wanted to talk about, you have to make him your Lord of your life. Well, you see, the thing is, what does Lord mean? It means like Abraham was the Lord. I mean, that's like a way of respect, like that, Sarah had for Abraham. So she said, Lord, even though he was like lying and doing weird things sometimes, like, hey honey, you're so good looking that I'm going to tell the king that you're my cousin. That way, if she cheats, if he grabs you, then he can't, like, because you're my family. Or, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If he was Lord, then Lord wasn't that great of a thing, but king, well, that's always a pretty great thing. So you gotta think like a painter sometimes. You see, that's why, like the centurion had a great faith. I don't know, but I haven't been a centurion, or I haven't been in the military, but the centurion had great faith because it's kind of like a painter. He said, just do it, and it'll be done. Just like when you get to a house and you go to paint it, when you go to bid a house, you're like, yeah, I can paint that 2-story house, no problem. People are like, that is great faith. Okay, do it. You know what I mean? Whereas the other guys, oh, let me measure it and let me see how much paint. They don't know because they're lost and they don't have great faith. So then like, let me write this down and see what I can come up with, and then we'll see and blah, blah. But no, he needs great faith. Like Centurion's like, boom, yeah, I got it. So, that's one of those things. So get out of that, like, doctrinal faith, get into the king and get on the right page, and it'll all be good.